just in time, we are going to be getting into this game 1 here. Now, as you can see, each of the players on the left, we have as our 5 SAGU Valorant team players representatives, we have Watto, who is the in-game leader, or what's referred to as the IGL. And he's the one who's the calling the shots and making all the decisions. He's the one who tells the teams where to go and what to do. Then you have Ogden. He's kind of their more aggressive. He's the one who gets a lot of the kills. You'll see him getting double kills, triple kills. You have the Bipolar. He's also very aggressive, plays very, very well. He's the one who will execute what's known as a pinch with Ogden, while they'll sit in 2 opposite ends of the map and kind of close in on the opponent when they walk through the area they're both looking at. And then you have Jericho. He's kind of their flexible back and forth player who can kind of fill in wherever's needed. And then you have Syntix, who's more of the defensive player, and he kind of supports the rest of the team. But as you can see in the top left corner, that is what is referred to as the mini-map. Now, the mini-map allows us to see where all the players are. Now, what you're seeing is the SAGU Lions are covered, each of their agents are covered in this little red glow, and you can even see that red glow through walls. And now the Ole Miss blue team, they are covered in this little green glow that you can also see through walls. The reason we can see everyone through barriers and obstructions is because we are in a special spectator mode. So keep in mind that while these players are maybe playing defensive, they're not sure what they're doing, that's because they cannot see these glowing barriers surrounding the opponents. They're having to guess and try and figure out using their knowledge and awareness and abilities to try and discover where the opponents are. But as you can see in the top left corner in the mini-map, all of the SAGU Lions, where you'll see their little their numbers and the pictures of their agents they're playing, they are all on the B site. And they have just planted the spike. Now the Ole Miss blue team has to go onto the site and try to defuse the spike if they want to win. And so, and Watto with a great kill. Watto getting a double kill. Great job by Watto. Really holding down that site. That's going to be really good for momentum.
Oh, yeah.
And when it comes to the economy, buying guns, getting better guns, this puts the SAGU Lions at a huge advantage. And there you can see the SAGU Lions getting some weapons, getting some really strong leads, and you can kind of see it in the background of the Ole Miss players. You can see their character, their agent picture with different little gun images underneath it. They're still only using starting pistols. They're having to be very frugal with their money and their economy. And so SAGU has a very distinct advantage right now because they are using a lot stronger weaponry.
There.
So it looks like our SAGU Lions team is pushing up towards the middle of the map.
There.
And they seem to be playing very aggressive, and it is rewarding them. Getting 2 kills onto the opposing Ole Miss blue team. As you can see, trying to hold down. Wow,
nice
great shot by Watto. Very well done. One very important mechanic in this game is headshots. If you shoot the opponent in the head, for the most part, it is pretty close to a 1-shot kill, maybe a 2-shot kill. So headshots are what you're looking for in this game. And that's a very similar mechanic to what you've experienced, Aether, in Call of Duty. How important is getting headshots in first-person shooter games like this?
Oh, it's crazy. In Call of Duty, it goes from 4 to a 3. Like for headshots, like bullets-wise. So instead of using 4 bullets, you can use 3. In this game, it's just 1. It can go from having to use 4 bullets to literally just using 1.
Yeah.
And so in this game, it's crazy important.
Very, very important. And so that's what all these players are going to be looking for. Now, they're more than happy to get kills in what are referred to as body shots. It's just shooting someone in kind of the torso area. But the optimal play is just getting what is referred to as a 1-tap, where you only fire 1 bullet and you get the kill off that 1 bullet, and that usually comes from headshots. And right now, the SAGU Lions are looking... SAGU Lions are doing what they can, but Ole Miss is playing really strong. From what it looks like, I believe that the title cards on the top have been swapped. So you're seeing Ole Miss blue above the players outlined with the red. I believe that is our SAGU Lions.
Yes.
So the SAGU Lions with 2 points over the Ole Miss blue team, who are, as of right, and there we go. Thank you to our wonderful media services team and broadcast for doing a phenomenal job. But the SAGU Lions being 2 rounds up on this Ole Miss blue team, and wow, Stick getting a great double kill. And the Ole Miss blue team really locking down this A site, not letting the SAGU Lions push onto the site. And right now, Syntix, the last one alive, and not able to get a kill. And you see there, that is what is referred to as a flawless win, where not a single player on one team died in their win. And that's going to be really big for Ole Miss Blue. This is their first round win. It's going to let them get some guns, get some momentum. And now we're looking at a pretty close to even game.
Yeah. As you said, that is their momentum now, you know, because before they didn't have any momentum. They barely had many kills and stuff, but now they just wiped the team like that, and that is huge for me momentum-wise. And
Absolutely
they have Eco now, so
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, they have the economy, they have the guns, and now they're kind of going at each other at pretty close to an equal footing. And we are going to see how the SAGU Lions respond, because Ole Miss, they're a force to be reckoned with. They got some great double kills there. I believe it was Stick, if I read that correctly. Oh, and Quick Shot getting a really good pick on a bipolar. The SAGU Lions still trying to push towards this B site, hoping for some kind of spike plant. But the Ole Miss Blue not giving up any room.
Yeah, kind of holding it down.
And
really
as you can see there, Ognet is sitting in what is essentially a smoke, so that he's not able to see outside of that smoke that he is in, and now it's just dissipated. So now he's able to see, and Ole Miss not giving up anything, but right now it is 4 vs 4, and Jericho getting a kill on, I believe that is Conley. Getting a great pick onto Conley.
30 seconds.
And it seems like they are still getting some momentum on this B side, and they move to the side, and Syntix, he is going to plant the spike. And Ognet, a great pick onto the anomaly. And right now, Ole Miss only has 1 player left for their team.
Yeah, 3v1.
It is a 3 versus 1 situation. And so this Ole Miss player, I'm not able to see who it is. I believe that's Stick.
Yep.
But Stick and not able to get any kills. Jericho locking down the ace site, and the SAGU Lions take back the momentum, going 3 rounds to 1. Is a great spot for the SAGU Lions, but it was looking a little dicey there at the beginning.
It was. Yeah.
Ole Miss able to trade kills with SAGU Lions and bring it to a 4 versus 4, but then Jericho and Ogden really locking down that A site push. And just for you folks at home, a push is when all of the members of an attacking team or a group of the attacking team moves together to try and get onto one of the sites and plant the spike. That is what's referred to as a push. And that is kind of how the game, one of the states of the game moving forward, and can be very, very pivotal in the flow of these rounds. But SAGU Lions using their abilities to move onto the site as safely as possible and as quickly as possible. You see the bipolar there checking all of the little corners where the opponents could be hiding. And you see at one point he used an ability that made him dash forward very quickly. That is one of the abilities that his character has. And it allows him to move very, very quickly and can be good for getting onto the site and planting the spike, which they have been able to do. And Jericho getting a pick on the anomaly. Holding B site, locking it down very well. And Conley getting a pick on a bipolar, but Ogden returning the favor. And Stick able to take out Ogden. Right now it's a 2 versus 1, but the timer on the spike is running low. And it looks like the SAGU Lions are going to be able to take that win, and unfortunately they both died, because when the spike explodes, even though the attackers win, I mean, it's essentially a bomb. So there's an explosion radius, and if you, as an attacker or a defender, are within that explosion radius when it hits you, you die immediately, and it's essentially an instant death. And so, unfortunately, all of the SAGU Lions members died, but because they won the round, because they got all the kills, they are going to be getting a little bit more money than the Ole Miss blue team, and this momentum, as we talked about earlier, is really pushing towards the SAGU Lions' favor. And it looks like they are now changing up their strategy and moving more towards the A side, excuse me. And they are playing very patiently, doing their best to cover their bases. And right there you see Bipolar. Oh, getting picked by the Anomaly. The Bipolar had an ability which was his ultimate ability, which as that character, the character pulls out a bunch of knives that do lots of damage, and they're very quick and very strong. It's a very good ultimate ability. But unfortunately, the Anomaly was able to get the kill onto him before Bipolar was able to return the favor. But the SAGU Lions pushing on to the A site, getting control. Syntix is planting the spike right now. And the spike has been planted. And so now the SAGU Lions are trying to defend this site and hopefully prevent the Ole Miss blue team from defusing the spike. And Jericho, with his ultimate ability that shoots out a large beam from his bow and arrow that does lots of damage, it can shoot through walls. It's a very good ultimate ability. And Ogden getting a double kill.
Nice. Very
good for Ogden, and there he goes. Jericho and Ogden closing in on Conley, who was up on that balcony area. In gamer terms, on this specific map, that area is known as Heaven. And that is usually where a lot of the defenders are going to try and retake the site and hopefully defuse it. But Ogden, Jericho, Bipolar, all knowing where it's coming from, being able to read that situation and play according. And as you can see, at the beginning of each round, it looks like the SAGU Lions appear in the same area. Each team, whether you're attacking or defending, have what are known as their spawn locations. It's where you appear and are put at the start of a round. And the spawn locations for the attackers and the defenders are the same every round. And as you can see, when the round starts, there's a counter, there's a timer, and there are these blue translucent barriers that prevents the players from attacking each other during what is referred to as the buy period, where they buy all of their weapons. And Watto and Polar getting a really good start into this middle section of the map, which is known as mid. Ogden trying to hold down the middle of the map. But as I was saying earlier, the spawn locations, the places where the defenders and the attackers appear at the start of each round, are the same. And there is a translucent barrier, and there is a timer of when each player can kind of buy different items with the money that they got from the previous round in kills, in the win, in the loss, in planting the spike and defusing the spike. And all of those things play into their economy, and they have time to buy the weapons they need. And right there, Conley trying to go for some it looks like he was trying to use some ability, but unfortunately, because he was using the ability, he didn't have his gun out. Ogden getting the kill, and now the SAGU Lions at 6-1. Aether, what do you think Ole Miss needs to do to kind of retake this momentum here? Because it seems like this SAGU Lions attacking offense is just a force to be reckoned with.
In my opinion, I'd like to say they just need to hold the site more. Like at the beginning of last round, they did actually really good holding the site.
Yeah.
And they do that every single time. They just need to keep it up, you know, and just like keep the hold and basically keep set on the thing. Because our team's trying to rush them off the site and kill like everyone on site so that we can just rush onto site or make them back off.
Yeah.
And just making them back off is a huge help because then they can plant like they are right now.
Yeah.
And just defend the site themselves because then it goes from attack, like offense to defense.
Yeah.
And defense is probably a better area.
Yeah, and Ogden getting a double kill there. Great job by Ogden. And yeah, I completely agree with you. I think in this kind of game, defense is really strong, but the Anomaly getting a really good headshot onto Jericho and quick shot. Again, getting a shot onto Syntix. Right now, it is a 2 versus 3. The SAGU line still up, but
Enemy remaining.
and Watto getting a great pick onto the Anomaly, and there's Ogden with the final kill.
Yeah, great teamwork there.
Yeah, great teamwork. And yes, continuing what you were saying earlier, I completely agree. I think that they are giving up these sites too easily and too quickly. And the SAGU Lions are able to rush onto the site, and this is a very defensive advantage game because as the defender, you're able to sit and wait in very specific positions and kind of prepare for the opponent to come before they're even there. It's almost like a hunter setting a trap kind of gameplay.
Yeah.
And so for them to give up the site, they then have to become the attackers. And a lot of them are playing very defensive-heavy characters. And so I don't think that is the wisest decision for Ole Miss, and I agree. If they can hold down these sites, I really think they can get some momentum back in the game. But we'll see if they're able to do that with Watto and Bipolar getting a double kill. Great double kill by Polar. Bipolar? Interesting name.
Yeah. Hey, but B site is fully open, actually.
Yeah, the B side, there are no Ole Miss players on the B side.
Yeah.
So we'll see what, and as you can see, it looks like the SAGU Lions are now moving towards the B site. They recognize this. They're all communicating with each other and making sure they're all on the same page. And wow, Conley with a great kill on Watto. Right there, that is what is referred to as a peek, where, I mean, basically peeking around a corner. It's a very prevalent mechanic of this game of peeking around corners and getting kills very quickly. Understanding that is a very important aspect of this game, and right now Ole Miss with one player left, I believe that's Stick, and we're going to see if they are able to get some lead, but Bipolar, knowing where he's coming from, completely ready for it, and I think that was a little bit too aggressive. I think something I'm not actually seeing from Ole Miss is they're not actually saving. So in this game, there is what is referred to as saving, where if you're the last one or there's a numbers disadvantage and you don't think there's any plausible way for you to win this, it's actually fairly smart for you to keep the guns that you have and just not get killed by the end of the round, because then you go into the following round with all of the same weapons. But it seems like Ole Miss has not been saving their weapons almost at all, and they keep having to buy new weapons every round, which is taking a huge toll on their economy. And I think if Ole Miss, one, can really hold these sites, be a lot more defensive and taking a stronger defense in that gameplay, as well as and Ogden getting a great pick on a Conley. I think as well as holding sites, I think if they can maybe start prioritizing their economy and start saving some of their weapons in the future rounds, and Ogden with 3 kills so far. And Ogden getting taken out by the Anomaly. But right now, and there's Bipolar getting a pick onto Daughter, and right now we are seeing a 4 versus 1 scenario. With the Anomaly, a pick onto Watto.
Picked one though, 3-1.
But that means they know where the Anomaly is, and they can, just like that, get the kill. And they're communicating with each other, they're talking to each other. That's very smart by the SAGU Lions. And Ole Miss, they're communicating, but it seems like they're playing really aggressive. And being a defensive team, I don't know if aggression is the move here.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like their aggression is, if anything, is probably hindering them. And for them to play a lot more defensive, I think we could really see them kind of take some momentum back and get back into this game. Because Ole Miss, they hit their shots. They've got good gameplay. They've got good map awareness. They're able to rotate to the different sites wherever SAGU Lions are approaching. But right now, the SAGU Lions' momentum is a force to be reckoned with. And we'll see what Ole Miss is able to do in response.
Using their ability, they just revealed Bipolar's location, so they should be semi-knowing where they're going at this point.
Yeah.
And yep, they're trying to come from behind, but now obviously Watto is completely stopping that flank, which is flank is obviously coming from behind the enemy team.
Yeah. Very well done by Watto, and that was a great job by Ole Miss to read that situation, but Watto being fully prepared, knowing how to counter that situation. But right now, Ole Miss is up a player. It is 4 versus 3. So we'll see what the SAGU Lions are able to do if Ole Miss can hold this numbers advantage. And even if they just trade 1 kill for 1 kill, they will win this round.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what they are able to do in response. And the SAGU Lions playing very slow, playing very defensive.
30 seconds left.
And the SAGU Lions have 22 seconds left to get this thing planted. And luckily, the ability that was just used, as you saw attacker Killjoy on the screen there, one of the agents that they are playing is known as Killjoy. And their ultimate ability creates this dome where if there are any opponents in that dome when it finishes, it locks their abilities down and silences them so they can't use their abilities. But Ole Miss Blue getting great kills onto the SAGU Lions, but Watto not able to see the defender, and they are able to defuse the bomb, and they lost the round.
Yep.
Because Ole Miss.
Yeah, even though Watto was still alive, they defused it. They didn't do anything else.
Yeah,
so.
Ole Miss defusing that bomb, getting some momentum. Now, unfortunately, they are about to swap, and when the team swap from attacking to defending, they lose all of their previous economy. But 3 wins is better than 1 win. So if Ole Miss can get another win in this round, they won the last one. They've got some money. They've got a little bit of potential for another win here. We'll see if they're able to use that to their advantage. And in this game, the SAGU Lions are playing very, very smart as the attackers, because normally this is a very defender-advantaged game, but if the attackers can play smart and can use their abilities effectively, it is anyone's game. But there is a slight advantage to the defenders. But Bipolar getting a great pick on the anomaly and almost getting a kill there, and wow,
finishing it up.
The follow-up. And them communicating with each other, trying to figure out what the rest of the Ole Miss team is. Conley getting a pick onto Ogden, but Bipolar and Watto finishing it off. And right there, the SAGU Lions, as they swap from attacking to defending, they are up 10-2. That is a huge advantage for the SAGU Lions.
Yep. And at this moment, all the econ is lost, so it's now basically an even game, because beforehand, the more you win, the better guns you get. Now, it's even playing field, but now, obviously, SAGU has defense. They switch spawns, and they're going to send a few people to each site, because they obviously don't know where the attacking team is going at that moment. So if they go B site, then obviously some people from A would switch to B site, and so on and so forth, just depending on where the enemy team's going.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Absolutely. And here we're seeing SAGU Lions playing split defense, trying to cover their options. Right now it looks like there's 2 standard 2-1-2. You have 2 on B side, 2 on A side, and 1 in the middle. And it looks like the Ole Miss Blue team is pushing the B site. But Bipolar not giving them a chance. But Stick trading the kill. It is a 4 versus 4. Ole Miss, this is a great opportunity for them to get some momentum and get some rounds in. Because right now, as you said, the game is reset. It's an even slate. And we'll see if Ole Miss can use that to their advantage.
Yeah, so one thing when they put smokes down, one of the things that you do in Valorant as any team really, whoever's in the smoke, if someone's shooting through the smoke, they can see the bullets and where they're coming from. So if you're in that smoke, sometimes you can shoot through the smoke to see where the bullets are leading from, and basically going off of that conclusion of where they are in the smoke.
Yeah,
and that can be a really good thing to do.
It's really, really good. It's very smart.
30 seconds left.
And Conley, the last one alive for the Ole Miss blue team, getting a pick on the Watto after Watto got 3 kills in a row. But Jericho able to kill him with his bow and arrow. His bow and arrow has has an arrow that does like a lightning shock attack. And him placing it just right, because that arrow, one of the cool features of that bow and arrow is that you can make it bounce on walls. And so it can bounce around corners and hit people around a corner, which can be very good if you know what you're doing.
One other thing the bow can do is reveal their location, which is obviously one other his abilities. So it's just that character alone is actually really, really good.
Yeah, and that character is known as Sova, and they are what is referred to as an initiator. And there are 4 different categories of characters. There's initiators, duelists, controllers, and sentinels, and each one plays a different part in the strategy of the game.
And it's good to even out which kind of agent you have, because there can't be like 4 attackers with no defense kind of thing.
Absolutely, and there's Jericho getting 2 kills and following up with Syntax. Syntax getting another 2 kills himself, doing a great job of preventing this B site push. And Watto coming in from behind, getting that last kill, doing a great job. And the SAGU Lions only need 1 more win to take this game 1. It is match point. And Ole Miss Blue really struggling to get a win here. And we'll see what they're able to do. I believe last round they were saving their money a little bit, because right now I'm seeing them have fairly decent guns. And so when the last round, the SAGU Lions as the attackers, they were the red team, the red outline glow. That is the attackers. And then the defenders were the blue. Now, because SAGU's defending, they have the blue outline. So that's why you're seeing a difference there. And Anomaly, great peek around that corner to get a kill on Watto. And it is a 5 versus 4. The SAGU Lions are at a disadvantage here. And we'll see what Ole Miss Blue is able to do. It looks like they're moving towards A side from the middle, and Anomaly getting a second pick onto Bipolar. And just for you folks at home, a pick is another word for a kill. It's just a gamer slang for a kill. And Ole Miss Blue getting a plant onto the site. And them trying to take down...
fighting for his life.
Trying to take down Ogden. They get Ogden and Jericho. Right now it is just Syntax. And Syntax not able to get the pick, and Ole Miss stopping the SAGU Lions win. And here they have the momentum. And the SAGU Lions have a little bit of economy left, so they're not completely out of it. But right now, the game has evened out. And this is the chance for Ole Miss to come back. Because right now, they have the bigger guns. They have the heavy hitters here. And I think there's a real shot for them to kind of... to do what and to show their might here as the attackers. And even if Ole Miss doesn't win here, getting some rounds in this game could be a huge confidence boost going into the next game, because this is a best 2 out of 3, and so you are guaranteed to play at least 2 games. And Bipolar trying to hold the middle of the map, and it looks like Ole Miss is going to push through that middle section. And it seems like they're trying to move towards the B site. And Quickshot getting a pick onto Jericho, but Bipolar stopping Quickshot. And Ogden and Watto each getting a kill, but the Anomaly trading. Oh, and Syntax getting a kill, but Conley getting a double kill there, and it is a 1 versus 1 situation. If Syntax can get the pick onto Conley, then that'll be the SAGU Lions win. But if Conley can find a way to take this... Oh, and
the timing.
Wow. Syntax was looking away at the absolute worst moment. And Conley getting the win. Ole Miss still in this. They are now 4 rounds in.
So, what happened there was basically, I feel like, well... I feel like in that 1v1 situation, you get super nervous.
Oh,
period.
yeah.
Like, it happens to me all the time in any S&D kind of game, or search and destroy, which is this.
Bomb planting and bomb defusing.
Yeah, exactly. Because in that 1v1, it's basically win or lose. You die, you lose, and it's all on you. You know, all the pressure. And I feel like he was really pressured there, and felt like he had to move. when in reality he could have just kept peeking that angle and could have just stayed at that like advantage point, basically.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. And I think, you know, the pressure of it kind of got to him, but SAGU Lions, they're not out of the woods yet, but Ole Miss Blue getting a pick, but Watto, great patience there. Ogden, Bipolar, getting a pick, and them trying to hold down this site. But Conley trading the kills, Anomaly, both getting kills onto the SAGU Lions, and it is now a 3 versus 2. The SAGU Lions are at a disadvantage, and they're going to have to try and retake this site. And Syntix not able to get a kill. Oh, Syntix did get a kill on Anomaly, but Styx trading. And now it is a 2 versus 1 scenario. And Watto looks like he's going to try and go up top on the balcony, what is referred to as heaven. But Stick is right there. We'll see if he's able to get the kill. But see, Stick right there, knowing he was going to come, he threw down that smoke.
Yep.
Great game awareness.
Then he teleported out.
He teleported away. That's one of the abilities of the character he's playing. But Watto, great kill. And getting a double kill.
But I think it's too late to defuse.
Yeah.
So they still win the round.
Yeah, they still won the round because unfortunately the bomb only has, I believe it's 40 seconds until it explodes. So even if all of the members of your team die, if that bomb explodes before you can defuse it, your team wins.
Yep.
And it takes about, I believe, it's about 4 or 5 seconds to defuse the bomb. It might be a little more than that.
I mean, I want to guess 7.5, I think.
7.5? Okay.
Or 7.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's 7 actually. Yeah.
Okay,
no,
it takes about 7 seconds to defuse the bomb. So if you don't start defusing the bomb by 7 seconds, that's basically it. And Jericho trying to get a kill because as of right now, that gun that he's using is what's referred to as a light machine gun or an LMG, and that specific gun is really good at getting kills even through walls. The bullets can go through walls and still kill opponents, which can be very, very strong. And so him hoping to get an early kill by the opposing team being right where he wanted them to be. And there he goes with his drone and then getting a kill through the wall. Great job by Jericho. He was not able to see him right there, even though we in the spectator view are able to see him. Jericho knew that he was going to have to go through that area, through that location, was able to get the kill. Very well played by Jericho. And now it is a 4 versus 4 situation after Anomaly getting a kill onto SAGU Lions. And they got the spike planted on the A site. So now Watto up in heaven, up on that balcony area, but standing in the smoke, not able to see anything. And there goes Bipolar with his laser beam ult and getting a kill on a quick shot with it. Great job by Bipolar. Bipolar pushing onto site. Seeing the opponent there, not able to get a kill on Stick, and right now it is Jericho versus 3 of the opposing team, and Stick getting a triple kill at the end there. Closing it out, and now Ole Miss, they're at 6 rounds. And this is what we were talking about, this momentum. 1 round can carry into so many more because economy is such a huge part of this game.
I think the hardest thing in that, or like being the defender, is if you do get off of like a site, you have to push on once they plant, because again, you only have those 45 seconds or whatever it is. So basically, again, attackers getting on site, it puts the pressure on the other team. And that's the best spot to be in, personally.
Yeah, absolutely. That is what, that's a huge state of advantage, is pressuring the opponent to make a split-second decision when you are the one in control of the situation. And Bipolar, he has now activated his ultimate ability. Each agent has an ultimate ability that charges throughout the game, and they're very, very powerful. And his agent's ultimate ability is these kind of floating knives that are very quick and are pretty close to an instant kill if they hit you. So they do lots of damage and they're very fast. And as we see right there, getting a great pick, almost getting a second kill there, but with his ultimate getting a kill on Conley. And another good thing about his ultimate is that it doesn't use ammo, and he still has 1 more left. See, you can pull out those daggers and then take them away, but you only have, I believe, 5 of them.
Yeah,
and so
one thing about that ability is if you get a kill with it, it refills all 5 knives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So him
remaining.
getting just that kill right there, he gets all 5 knives back.
Wow.
And that's huge. He has a new ultimate just like that.
That is very, very strong. And Bipolar using it very well, and there it is. The SAGU Lions closing it out. I think that was a great ult by Bipolar. Very well played by him.
Yeah, that one knife kill was
that was so huge. Him having that's a great ability. Getting one, it resets all of your knives, and they throw out so fast. They do so much damage. But SAGU Lions going up 13-6, and I mean at one point it was 12-1. And so we got to give it to Ole Miss for getting 5 rounds in a row. That's very, very impressive. But SAGU Lions being able to lock it down, get that final win, and we are about to go into game 2 in just a second. But Aether, for this game 2, Ole Miss, what should they be talking about? What is their strategies? What's their coach telling them, like, hey, you guys need to be doing this if you want to win this next game?
I'd like to say, obviously, on the defense, what we said earlier, keep sides and like hold them, be in those spots where you can like take them off guard, especially on attack or defense, honestly, because I feel like they're rushing in a little too fast on some things when like even if they're on the attack, you can still hold angles, hold corners and all that stuff, and like take people or take the Lions team by surprise, which would be obviously the best thing, but yeah,
absolutely. And as we can see there, Watto getting 23 kills and 9 deaths. Just for you folks at home to kind of understand what you're looking at here, each of the players are listed top to bottom, and from left to right you have their combat score, which is kind of a pre-made just numerical value of how well they did in these gunfights. But in that next tab you see KDA. That refers to kills, deaths, and assists. So the first number is the number of kills they got, the second number is the deaths, and the third number is the assists, where they did damage to an opponent, but then someone was there to follow up. And, I mean, can we just look at Ogden with 12 assists? That is really impressive. Him doing a great job at supporting his teammates and using his positioning effectively to kind of hinder the opponent so that someone else can come in and finish off the opponent. But the next you have the econ rating. That basically says how effectively they were able to use the money that they had, how much money they were getting on average for the most part. It's not like an actual, like that's not the exact amount of money they were getting, but it's just a numerical value of how well they were using their economy.
Yep.
And then first bloods, how many times you were the first person to get a kill in the round. Then you have plants, how many times they planted the spike. You see Syntix getting 8 plants. It seems like for the SAGU Lions, he is the designated plant spiker. He is the one who's getting onto the site, planting the spike. He's also playing a character known as Killjoy that creates this, as we talked about earlier, this area that locks down enemy abilities, a very good defensive ability. So if you're on site and you've already planted the spike and you're trying to hold that area, it can be really good to use Killjoy's ultimate to prevent the opponents from walking in during that time, because if they walk in during that time, they can't use their guns, they can't use their abilities, and for what I believe is close to 7 to 10 seconds, they are basically stuck doing nothing. And then, yeah, that's pretty much the essentials of what you're seeing there. But the SAGU Lions doing an absolutely wonderful job, and I mean, Ole Miss doing a great job as well. They were able to, as we saw, 5 rounds in a row. That's very impressive. And especially after the really heavy momentum that the SAGU Lions had, I don't think they're out of the woods yet.
I don't think so either, honestly. They have, like, even though we won the last round, they have that momentum of those, I think, 4 in a row wins.
Yeah.
And just that, they now know that they can do that.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. And they should be going into that game basically going off that and being like, hey, we can do it. We just need to.
Yeah.
Like they just need to actually put it into effect and do what they did the last 4 rounds. So
absolutely, I completely agree. And right now we are waiting for the SAGU Lions and the Ole Miss Blue team to get into their next game. They're kind of working out the lobby, which is kind of the waiting room before the game area. And they're kind of getting into a lobby and working out all of the details of that. But Aether, while we're sitting here, I have a question for you. So as it looks like, the next map they are going to be in is Haven. Haven is a very, from what I believe, a very defender-heavy map. It's a very defensive map. And as we've been talking about, Ole Miss, they give up sites way too quickly. What would be a great way to keep holding sites in that you believe without actually giving up kills? Because when you're holding a site, you are mildly susceptible to getting killed if you're in a position where you're aggressively holding a site. So what are some strategies that they could use that you, from your Call of Duty experience, that they can use to hold a certain location without exposing themselves and being vulnerable?
One thing I learned from like playing games like this in Call of Duty is sometimes the best spots are the worst spots, believe it or not. To explain that is basically, if you're in that best spot every time, it's going to become the worst spot, you know, because everyone holds that angle. That's where they're going to be looking. So sometimes the best spots are going to be the most vulnerable spots, believe it or not, just because most people won't see that coming. Like, say you're in the middle of the map looking just straight at them with no cover, you know, you might get a kill because they won't expect that. They'll expect you trying to obviously play it smart and going for like something behind a box or something, or using your utilities to see where they are first and stuff. And all that stuff is good for sure. But yeah, I say a lot of, I mean, I didn't see too much of a pattern, but there was some patterns with certain characters that they went to the same spot, did the same exact thing, and maybe change that up, you know?
Yeah. One big point of games like this, and just falling off of what you said, is unorthodox gameplay. Now, in gaming in general, there's a term that we talked about last night in the Super Smash Bros. Broadcast, but it's referred to as meta. And the meta is kind of, in simple terms, it is the most effective way to succeed against your opponent and to get a victory. It's the most effective means of winning. The thing is, though, most people that are playing at a competitive level all know the meta. They all know what you have to do to win. So they're almost expecting it. So as you said, playing these unorthodox positions, playing unorthodox utility methods, which is in gamer terms is referred to as off meta, and kind of playing this off meta gameplay, I think that could be really good. I think them switching up maybe some of the character playstyles, because there were some characters that they were using that I feel like didn't get a whole lot of use. Especially one of the characters they played is known as KO. And he has abilities that lets you silence the opponent and lock them out of using their own abilities. But I didn't see that happen a whole lot. For the most part, he was just kind of there. And so maybe switching to an agent that is more impactful in these gunfights and in that defensive gameplay, I think could be very, very effective. But we are actually seeing a player swap on the SAGU Lions side. Ogden has very important things he had to go to, and he did a wonderful job in Game 1. But Clutchshire, who has been commentating up until this point, he is actually going to be playing for Ogden. He actually played with the SAGU Valorant team last semester and is essentially kind of on their filler substitution team. And that is why I have this wonderful co-host with me, Aether, today, because our very own Clutchshire's in there in the game.
Yep.
So we're going to see how he's able to play and how he's able to impact his team. But I think, I mean, how much do you know about Clutchshire and his gameplay? We haven't seen a whole lot of Clutchshire we haven't seen any of Clutchshire this semester in terms of his actual gameplay. So what are you expecting from him?
Well, one of the things about him is he's very, like, his playstyle is very diverse. And who he plays is diverse. If he needs to sub in for an attacker, then like someone that rushes into site first, then he can. If he needs to go as a defender, he can. So that's really good to have him as a sub because he can do those multiple things. And again, just that alone helps a ton for teamwork and everything like that. So
yeah, absolutely, I agree. And so we are going to get in this game too, and we'll see what kind of impact the Clutchshire can have on this Haven map. Now, Haven is a beloved map by all Valorant players. It is a very well-made map. It's very dynamic. even from the attacking and defending side, it feels just, when you played, it just feels good. It's just a good, fun map to play. There's not a whole lot of kind of cheap, easy angles that either side can have. It's just whoever's better and whoever plays well. And as you can see, Jericho is playing a character that had those smokes, that had those teleports. His name is Omen. Very, very strong. And the SAGU Lions, who I believe are the green, essentially the green team, the defenders here. So the ones making sure that Ole Miss can't get on the site, but Ole Miss being able to plant the spike, but it wasn't enough.
Yep.
Watto, Bipolar, Clutchshire, all getting great picks onto that C site. And now, so look at that. On the mini-map on your top left, we don't just have 2 sites. We now have 3. Yep. We have A site on the right, B site in the middle, and C site on the left. And so that just gives more options for the attackers, and that gives more things the defenders have to worry about. And this map is very dynamic. Things can change very quickly, but it's also very, very fun. But
one of the things about this one is, since there's only 5 players on each team, usually they send an even amount, or as close as they can, at least 2 people to every site. But on this map, one of the sites only has 1 person, which is, and that one site is usually very vulnerable. On this one, it's B, and but the thing about B is it's harder to rush because the places to rush are basically, or the main way is the midway through. But no one can go that way because there's someone always holding that, and it's really easy shots to get that.
yeah,
And then on the sides, those people on the other like sites have that ability to help on the mid flank on the B. So that's why a lot of people don't go B. That's why A and C are the most defended.
Yeah, yeah. And because A and C, as you said, can rotate to that B site fairly quickly. And as we're seeing here, the SAGU Lions holding a great defense on the A site. So it looks like the Ole Miss blue team is going to start looking towards the B site, but unfortunately, Jericho was waiting there, ready to attack. And wow, both teleporting at the same time, and Jericho being ready for it. And Bipolar having a great follow-up and being able to hold that B site. But it sounds like this teamwork is really locking in. I think they're doing a great job, the SAGU Lions, and this is what we're seeing. This is what we saw last game, is Ole Miss having a really hard time kind of getting that early game momentum and finding their stride, if you will. But as we saw, once they get their stride, they can keep it.
Yep.
They can hold it.
For sure, and as we saw in the last one, when they were attacking through the front of B, again, that part's really hard to attack because there is like nothing to hide behind. It's just a wide open place. The only thing they could hide behind was their actual walls, which was the only thing they could have actually done, and that's what they tried to do. And obviously, in that situation, you can just overwhelm them, and bam.
Yeah, absolutely. But them thinking they can take this B side and make up for last time, and them getting a kill on Syntix, they have the numbers advantage here. The SAGU Lions being close, they can rotate, but Stick getting a pick onto Jericho. It's now a 5 versus 3. But Clutchshire ready, holding the B site, and getting a second kill. And throwing his grenade, which does lots of damage, trying to go for a peek there and not getting any kills. But right now, it is a 2 versus 2. Bipolar getting a kill on Daughter.
That is very huge.
That is
just
very,
to
very
even it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is forcing the Ole Miss blue team to play more patient. But Anomaly getting a pick on Polar. It is 1 versus 2 right now. Oh, and Watto!
1v1.
A great headshot.
And he takes him up good.
The thing about games like this is reloading is so dangerous.
Yep.
Because while you're reloading, I mean, you can't fire your gun. So if the opponent moves to fire and get in this gunfight right as you're reloading your gun, there's not much you can do. You pretty much just take the death and move on. But Ole Miss getting their first round win. That was a very good push by them onto the B site, and we'll see if they're able to kind of carry this momentum into subsequent rounds. But the SAGU Lions trying to prepare, trying to set up. That ability you just saw Watto throw out, this little shadowy ball creature, allows Watto to reveal the location of the opponents. And not really reveal their location, but more of just know if they're there. And so that ability allows him to just know whether the opponents are moving on to A site, B site, or C site. And that can help the SAGU Lions prepare for whatever may come. Jericho playing very defensive, playing very patient. Doing a great job at not blowing his cover. And knowing they're there. And the Ole Miss team debating whether they want to push or not. Oh, and they still didn't see him. That ability there, one of the characters known as Sky, can create this magical wolf that can run forward and find opponents. And they did not reveal Jericho there. So, Ole Miss now moving more towards the A site, but they only have 30 seconds, so they have to do something quick. But Clutchshire in a great position to get a kill. And then they now know that they are coming A, but Clutchshire getting a quadra kill.
Wow. That was great use of his abilities, too.
Absolutely. He's playing a character known as Raze, and Raze has this grenade that shoots out an initial explosion, but then shoots out smaller explosions after the fact. And those smaller explosions, along with the original explosion, can be very, very strong. And he was able to get 4 kills there in that round, and unfortunately, Clutchshire died at the end there. Even after they have won, if you died during that countdown before the next round, you are still dead, and those deaths count. Those kills count.
And from those deaths, you lose your weapon. So he went actually back into his spawn trying to obviously save his weapon and econ for the next round. But now since they got that kill, he cannot use that econ for the next round and can't use it to buy a better weapon or buy a weapon for his teammate. So
yeah. So Clutchshire now being a little bit of a disadvantage, but not a problem for him. And they are pushing hard onto this C site. And Ole Miss getting a kill. But, oh, Bipolar being in a great position to get a double kill. Oh, and Bipolar getting 3, getting 4. Wow, great job by Bipolar, getting a quadra kill. Holding that site so well and basically cutting off that Ole Miss momentum completely. Bipolar doing so much better and feeling so much more confident than last week. He did great last week, but it felt like he was still trying to find his groove. But here we see him doing a phenomenal job.
One of the things I'm seeing from the enemy team at this moment, or the offense team, is the last round, as you see, they didn't check the corners. They didn't check where the Bipolar was. He was there. They didn't check that corner, which is one of the things if they would have done, it could have saved them so much. Because just him alone, killed all of them.
Yeah,
you know. And if they would have checked that corner, there's comms. If one of them did die, they could have killed him right back, and they would have had a chance to win that. But they didn't do that, so
unfortunately. And yeah, positioning, knowing where the opponents are, knowing where they're going to hit you from is a really important part about this game. But as you can see, Ole Miss getting a really good push onto this B site. But unfortunately getting stopped by the SAGU Lions. But right now it is a 3 versus 3. And Ole Miss playing very safe, playing very patient. But the same with the SAGU Lions. Holding their positions, being ready at any spot for whatever Ole Miss may try to do. And it looks like they're moving more towards the C side, either B side or C side. And there's Watto getting a kill on quick shot, but Daughter trading and Stick getting another kill. And Clutchshire, I mean, he is the Clutchshire. And in gamer terms, clutch is when you are in a deficit and you find a way to win. And we'll see if he can clutch this game out. Oh, and him getting a pick onto Daughter. It is now a 1 versus 1.
And again, not checking the corners, you know. If I were him, I would have just held that angle because you know your teammate has the other angle. There's no need to peek that way.
Yeah.
And that way, you could have a chance to get that kill.
Yeah, absolutely. But him being low and Stick knowing where he was going, doing a great job at holding that site. And Ole Miss now getting a second round. They're looking a lot better than the last game. And we will see if they are able to win this one and carry this momentum forward. Both teams looking really strong here, having a lot of powerful guns, all of their abilities. You see Watto there all the way on the bottom. Those are his different abilities that he can use. And the one on the bottom right with all those little dots, that is his ultimate ability. Because that bar underneath it is full, it means he has his ultimate ability ready to use, which is very strong. It's this big wave. And Jericho getting a great pick onto the anomaly. But his Watto's ultimate ability, being able to shoot out this huge wave that reveals enemy locations, and he knows where the enemy is at from that. And Watto getting a pick onto Conley, stopping them from pushing forward, and Clutchshire moving forward, and Watto getting the pick on a quick shot.
One enemy remaining.
And Watto doing a great job at cleaning up this kind of defensive play by the Ole Miss blue team. And Stick getting a kill onto Syntix, but Bipolar trading the kill. And there's that SAGU Lions win, shutting down the Ole Miss momentum.
Great teamwork, by the way, there at the end. As you saw, one would shoot, and then as they're finally done with like shooting, they had to reload. So they switched off, and the other one went forward and shot. Then by the time the first one's done shooting again, this one's already reloaded, comes right back, and you just swap each time, and that way you guys are in protection if you are reloading, and the other one's ready whenever they need to attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Very smart, very well played by the SAGU Lions. And we'll see if Ole Miss can bring this back and start getting some of that momentum again. And we're seeing Stick being a very strong presence for the Ole Miss team, and them getting a really good push onto this B site. But Bipolar kind of stopping their full frontal assault. But Quick Shot trading the kill. Getting a kill on a Bipolar, but Syntix
Spike down B.
taking down Conley. And right now the SAGU Lions are up 4 players to 3. But Stick getting a kill onto Watto. Now it's 3 versus 3. And we will see what they're able to do with this 3 versus 3 scenario. Jericho hearing the opponent moving in front of him. Clutchshire getting a pick onto Stick, but Quick Shot trading it very well.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, and Jericho
nice.
Jericho and Syntix working together as the last two on the SAGU Lions team. And that is what we refer to as a flank or a pinch, where 2 players are getting both sides of the opponent, so they can't focus both of them at the same time, and it's a very effective strategy. I mean, it's your standard, like, tactical warfare flank, and in a gamer term, it's sometimes referred to as a pinch. That was very well done by Syntix and by, I believe it was Jericho.
And again, at this moment, I feel like SAGU's teamwork is just a little bit better than Ole Miss's. I see them using great strategies together and just working together all together, even on defense, because a lot of the times it's on attack. But even on defense, they're using a lot of teamwork.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing very smart, using their abilities wisely. And Bipolar getting 2 kills with Clutchshire, following up with him. But Quick Shot getting a kill, and Quick Shot getting a double kill. But Syntix taking out Quick Shot, and it's now a 3 versus 1. Daughter not able to hold that side, and Watto getting the kill, closing it off. The SAGU Lions pushing their lead. They're doing a great job at holding and carrying that momentum forward as best they can. 8th year. In this scenario, you're seeing Ole Miss. They're kind of struggling to get their foot here. Which site looks the most optimal? In just from recent history, just from what we're seeing here.
Well, I'd like to say, I mean, personally, I'd go A, mostly because B, it's really hard to push to that mid. But if they do on B, it's really good. C, they have that really, really long hallway that's really hard to get by. So if they go A, they have 2 different directions to go, and or they could go through garage and go either B or C, and then that way they could have two options, honestly.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
as you can see, SAGU's holding with 2 people in that area that I would go. So
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, that's fair.
they know the gameplay. You
They
know?
do. SAGU Lions defending that area very, very well, and I think I agree with you. I would say maybe push up through A main instead of cutting through the middle and going towards B. I would say just go through A main. They haven't really done that a whole lot,
Exactly.
and that's not a strategy they've used, but I think it could be pretty effective because there are harder angles for the defenders to hold on that A site. But the Ole Miss team trying to rotate towards C. And Watto, almost getting a double kill, but trading kills with Stick there. Oh, but the SAGU Lions, Syntix dropping his Killjoy ultimate, and Bipolar getting a kill onto Daughter. And Stick doing a great job of staying out of that area so that he doesn't get locked down. But right now, Stick only has 11 seconds, but getting a kill onto Jericho. Oh, and a kill onto Bipolar.
Yeah.
That was, honestly, that wasn't the worst for Stick.
Yeah,
and
that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, for Ole Miss, because when you kill an opponent, they don't have their guns going into the following round. And they have to buy all new guns, and it kind of lowers their economy. So for him to get 2 kills at the end there, very well played. And considering I don't think he would have had enough time to run away and to save his guns, I think that was probably the best case scenario, is to get a kill or 2 at the end there.
Yep. And at that point, when it's a 4v1, that's, I mean, obviously, clutching it up is the best thing to do. But that, if you can't do that, that's the best option. It's just getting a kill, lowering the advantage they have.
Yeah, absolutely. The SAGU Lions pushing their lead. And Ole Miss moving towards that A main location. And Jericho being blinded. Oh, and not getting the teleport like he needed. And see, as I'm saying, this A main push is pretty strong.
And again, they're pushing from 2 different angles, so it's really good.
Yeah, and it's very strong. And right now, they're still keeping a numbers advantage. It's 4 versus 3. And they're planting the bomb, and now the SAGU Lions are going to have to go on the offensive. Stick getting a kill onto Syntix. But Watto trading it, and Bipolar. And Watto doing powerful work, and now it's a 1 versus 1 in the anomaly. Getting picked on a Bipolar.
He's got a sniper.
It's 1 versus 1. Oh, and not able to get the kill. And the anomaly clutching it out, saving Ole Miss, keeping them in the game.
Last round.
Really well played by Ole Miss, but unfortunately, when they're about to swap, attacking and defending, their economy is going to be reset. So Ole Miss's best case scenario right now is to get that other win, to go into it 8-4. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. They have won 5 games in a row. We could be looking at another sweep in this next half if Ole Miss can get some momentum, but
very true.
I mean, this SAGU Lions defense, very strong.
Yeah, I mean, if A main worked, I mean, one of the problems with that, like doing it again, is just like they expect it, you know.
Yeah.
And as you see, they're not doing it again, which is honestly a good play. But obviously, even just that.
Oh my goodness gracious! Clutchshire getting a double kill.
Them holding the site really good right now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of holding the site. It is a 3 versus 3. And Clutchshire's very low on health. You see that flashing 11 on the bottom left. That is his health right now. So he's holding on for dear life, but he's doing a great job at holding the site, using these angles to his advantage. And they're using their different abilities to try and figure out where the opponents are, and it looks like that the Ole Miss team is committing to this C push. And Watto, wow, spraying and shooting through the smoke and getting a kill. And keep in mind, they can't see the outlines of their character, so that was a very well-placed shot by Watto, expecting the opponent to be there and it being rewarded. And right now, Ole Miss having 30 seconds. It looks like the teammate carrying their spike is running over to the A side, but right now, SAGU Lions are expecting such a thing, and they've got one of their members over on the A site to maybe try and prevent it.
10 seconds left. 1 enemy
And Jericho in a 1v1 situation on this site, and he's able to get the kill. And, yep, because Watto and Clutchshire were able to get the kill back on C site, that is going to be that round win for the SAGU Lions. Very well played. They're leading 9-3. You're in kind of a scary situation for Ole Miss, but right
Honestly,
now they're defending.
That was a good play, though, by Ole Miss, like splitting up, though.
Yeah.
Because if you have someone fighting on C, some teams would think, hey, they are C. You know, everyone's there and everything like that. And so they sent one to the other side on A, and usually that actually works. Sometimes people don't like see it coming, but SAGU just called it, and he was right there ready. So.
Yeah. Very well played by the SAGU Lions, but also very well played by Ole Miss. And SAGU Lions just having that edge in that numbers advantage, being very good. But switching back to the SAGU Lions, we're seeing them now on the attacking side. And it looks like they're trying to push through the middle towards B site, possibly towards C. But the Anomalies stopping their game plan and shutting them down from this push.
Stealing sight. No charges.
The SAGU Lions continuing their push through mid, and Jericho getting a pick, but Conley trading very well. And now it's a 4 versus 3 with Ole Miss an advantage. Now, because things are reset, the economy is set back to an even point. If Ole Miss wants to start getting some momentum, this is the time to do it. And Watto in a very tricky situation, trying to decide whether he wants to push through this door towards C or not. It looks like they're kind of doubling back. And I think they're going to go towards C, but they're going to go towards the longer hallway, hoping that Ole Miss is not watching, and they are not as of right now. But Ole Miss, it looks like they're rotating towards the C site. It's something they were expecting.
Yep, they might call this.
Yeah. And now they know they're moving towards the C site. And SAGU only has 15 seconds left. They have to make something happen. And Watto getting a great kill on a stick. It's now a 3 versus 2. Watto getting another kill, evening it up to a 2 versus 2. Oh, and Conley getting the pick on a Watto. Now it is just Syntix. And they are trying to push onto side and maybe shoot him through this crate. And Syntix not able to get the kill. Quick shot, doing a great job, finishing him off. And this is what I'm talking about, this momentum. This is the chance for Ole Miss to come back, maybe take a lead here, because they're going into this next round with a pretty good advantage. They've got the money, they've got the weapons. And SAGU, as we can see, they're going to be struggling a little bit.
Yep, because at this moment, they now have more eco than the other team.
Yeah.
So Ole Miss is in an instant advantage just for winning that round.
Yeah.
So just that alone is huge momentum, and just for the rest of the game, honestly. Because now they have better weapons, and they, as you can see by the guns they have, they're forcing this, which means that they're forcing better guns onto the other team, basically to secure this win, hopefully.
Yeah, and the thing about forcing is it's usually when you don't have a whole lot of money and you're getting the best weapons you possibly can. Even though they're not going to be as good as the opponent's weapons, you're hoping that just by having better weapons than cheap weapons, that maybe you can get a kill. But unfortunately, Ole Miss holding down this A site, getting 2 kills on the SAGU Lions. It is now a 5 versus 3 situation. The SAGU Lions are really having to fight here and hope for something. Watto pushing towards the opening, and the Anomaly getting a pick onto Polar. Now it is a 2 versus 5.
Find you.
We're going to see what the SAGU Lions are able to do here. With Watto and Clutchshire, and Watto and Syntix. Syntix getting kill on Anomaly, getting a double kill. Great job by Syntix. And he's able to pick up the gun off of the opponent, which is very good. And we're going to see if he's going to actually try and maybe take some of these fights, or if he's going to... It looks like he's going to try and save his gun. Oh, he's throwing it away.
Interesting.
Okay, that's actually a really good strategy. If both teams are not super strong. That looked like the strongest weapon that both of the teams had, but because he threw it away, now neither team is able to use it.
Yep. And that's honestly a great play because again, like you said, no team can use that, and now the other team has to buy another gun. You know.
Yeah.
So, and the thing is, he probably knew he was gonna die.
Yeah.
So
it was a 1
he was
versus
just
3.
Like, hey.
Yeah.
Might as well make it a little closer, you know.
Yeah. Even if I can't specifically get any kills with this gun, may as well take it out of the opponent's hands.
Yep.
Make sure they can't use it. Well played by Centix, but here we see Ole Miss 2 rounds in a row. They've got the momentum. But the SAGU Lions have able to get some good weapons. They're able to start playing to some strength. Now it's a pretty even game. And this is the turning point.
Mm-hmm. As you can see here, they're actually splitting up their offense. So one's by A side, or I mean C side, and then 2 are kind of looking B side, and then the other 2 going to A, or like looking A. And at this moment, I think they're kind of just waiting it out, trying to make the other team think. You know, the longer you wait, the more you think, the more you get distracted.
Yeah, absolutely. And the anomaly being able to get a pick on a Jericho. So now it's a 5 versus 4. It looks like they're moving towards that A site. SAGU Lions hoping for some kind of a push here.
There.
But Ole Miss having most of the momentum here, being very, very strong. Watto trying to cover all the locations that the opponents
Still
could
30
be.
seconds left. I'll find you.
But them throwing out abilities that allow them to find the different opponents on the Ole Miss team. But it looks like a last-second decision to maybe rotate towards the B side, and Bipolar getting a pick on a Conley. This looks like the push they needed, and I think they're going to be able to plant the spike with 7 seconds left. It was very close, but now the SAGU Lions are on the defensive. And the Bipolar and Watto doing great work on site. It's now a 2 versus 1 with Bipolar and Clutchshire. As of right now, we're seeing Stick trying to grab maybe a defuse here. The problem is Clutchshire and Polar playing very smart.
And Stick
looks like Stick is maybe going to try and go for it, but no. Clutchshire was ready.
Yep.
Was waiting, able to take the kill, and now the SAGU Lions are back in the driver's seat.
And again, defense is heavy on this map, or just on this game, period. So,
and especially on this map, too.
Once they got onto point and were in that defensive position, it was easier. Not easy, but easier for them.
Absolutely. But SAGU Lions being up double the rounds on Ole Miss Blue, but Ole Miss Blue's not out of it yet. They've proven that they can win these games, they can take these rounds. So SAGU Lions can't slack for a second. They've got to stay on top of their game, got to keep communicating. And it's anyone's game right now. The Bipolar using that Wolf ability to scout out ahead and see where the opponents are. And not seeing any opponents directly in front, throwing out that bird. That bird is actually a flash. And that bird can blind the opponents and make it so they can't see, but it wasn't enough. Bipolar getting a kill, but Stick getting a double kill on the SAGU Lions. And Watto and Bipolar doing a great job at controlling the C site. And now we're seeing Daughter getting taken out by Watto, and now it's a 2 versus 1 situation.
Watto used his ability there too. I think it was his ultimate to see where the other guys are, because at this point they want this round, and using that ultimate shows exactly where they are. You know exactly where to defend from, because again, they're on defense now.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And now they just have to play smart. They have to wait for the opponent, see where he's going to come from. And they're both playing very smart, very patient.
There it is.
Bipolar knowing exactly where to look, getting the kill on a quick shot. And now the SAGU Lions are 2 rounds away from this week ECAC Week 4 regular season victory. And we'll see if they're able to finish this off, because Ole Miss, you give them any little bit of room and they're going to start to run away with it. And, I mean, let's talk Ole Miss. They're defending well. The SAGU Lions have been able to get these spike plants these last couple rounds. How do you prevent this?
Honestly, again, I said this a little earlier, I think the teamwork's just outweighing it. Because, as you saw, our SAGU was in the exact same situation as Ole Miss was in on defense one time. Once SAGU got onto the site, and Ole Miss didn't use teamwork there, but SAGU used teamwork because one was looking at the way they were coming, and the other person was looking at the other way, trusting that each other had that spot, and that way they could look at that angle and get that kill.
Yeah, absolutely. But the anomaly getting a double kill, preventing this A push, this A site push, but
great smoke top window, so they can't see that.
Yeah, that was a really good smoke.
Yeah, he shot through it though.
Yeah, so that they can't see who's in there. Jericho getting a pick. Oh, and Bipolar getting a second pick, but only 9 health. Healing the rest of his teammates, hoping to use that to his advantage. Yeah, one of Bipolar's abilities. Oh, and
he was
Quick
blinded.
Shot was blinded by Bipolar's ability, that bird we talked about earlier, that blinds opponents. He had no idea that Syntix was right there. And it is a 2 versus 2 situation. And they are trying to defuse it, but Syntix able to get the kill, and now it's a 1 versus 1 situation. That was very well played by Syntix. Oh, and Jericho able to get the kill.
Clutching it up.
Wow, great job.
But it was planted for
And now we're going to take a listen into their comms to see what they're talking about, how they're communicating, what's going on here.
Fine. Bean works.
Give me the bomb.
Yeah.
Let's
do it. Jericho, come window with us or whatever. But I want Jericho and Asher.
Shields.
Jericho and Asher, we're gonna end up on site because I want the
Jericho
smoke
by
here. We're gonna
shields.
worry about.
Yeah, shields. Oh, I couldn't pay attention. I was trying to listen to what he was saying.
Okay. Whenever we get here. Okay, let's start pushing up. Can we get that smoke that right side?
Yeah.
Shadows.
It's gonna be close.
All right, and now
One is left.
the SAGU Lions pushing for the safe site.
Let's go.
I got right side.
Jericho
Oh
pushing
my
on the
gosh,
side, but getting stopped.
This is not the
Stopped by
move.
Stick. But Bipolar and Clutchshire coming up from the side, coming into the flank,
Last player
blinding the opponents, but the anomaly getting a double kill. And Ole Miss not giving it up.
Yep. They're staying strong.
Yeah, they're holding it as best they can. The SAGU Lions communicating, trying to figure out the best way to attack against this Ole Miss team. And I think they're doing a great job. Just continue the teamwork. They only need one more round. It is match point. The SAGU Lions can win one round. That is the set.
Yep. And again, Ole Miss has to win 7 rounds straight.
Yeah, they have to win 7 rounds in a row. But last game, we saw them win 5.
It's still possible.
It is
That's the
very
thing.
possible. Very possible. Oh, and speaking of
true.
which, yeah, you can tie by getting to 12 and 12, and then you have to win by 2, similar to volleyball and ping pong's game similar to that. So they need 6 wins in a row to keep themselves in this game. But SAGU Lions are pushing towards this A site. And Quick Shot was able to get a kill onto Watto. And the SAGU Lions are not working with very strong weapons. So they're using very limited resources, but they're trying to do their best.
And it looks like Ole Miss is trying to flank them.
Yeah, Ole Miss is trying to come up from behind.
Really good play.
Very dangerous.
But as you can see, Syntix is having it locked down, just in case.
He knows. He's aware. Bipolar getting a kill and a quick shot. Oh, and the anomaly and Stick doing a great job at coming in from behind and cleaning up that SAGU Lions attacking team. I think Ole Miss did a really good job at flanking from the back there.
I do think so, really well. They did really well. They came from behind with silently, like they were walking.
Yeah.
So they couldn't hear their footsteps. So obviously they knew there was a chance they would flank, but obviously a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
But in this moment, that also shuts them down from going to any other sites.
Yeah.
So they are stuck there.
Yeah.
They have to get kills either way.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
that's a hard thing, and it pressures the other SAGU to actually do something.
Yeah. And also, I think them preventing the SAGU Lions from pushing onto the site earlier on forced them to stay in that hallway so that the the rest of Ole Miss had enough time to come around the back, but the SAGU Lions getting 2 kills earlier on, and it's now a 5 versus 3 advantage. The SAGU Lions are in a great spot to close it out here. Them knowing where the rest of this team is, and you see Clutchshire coming up behind and getting the kill on the anomaly.
Oh, look, CT. Well, there's 2 left.
They planted the bomb onto the C site, and now Ole Miss, it's just 2. It's Daughter and Quickshot, but Quickshot getting a double kill, bringing it to a 3 versus 2. Quickshot getting a third, and it's now a 3. It's now a 2v1, and wow, Wada with the headshot, getting a great final kill there. But Quickshot, I think that was a triple kill, doing a great job, but it just not being enough. The SAGU Lions holding down that site, doing a phenomenal job. And as you can see, Bipolar, Watto, doing a great job at pushing this team to victory. 27 kills, 22, between them, almost 50 kills between them. That is absolutely absurd. And Bipolar doing a great job this game. And even, Clutchshire, Jericho, Syntix, all doing phenomenal jobs. And I mean, Stick with 18 kills, Anomaly 17 kills. They were very dangerous. And they each had their own handful of triple kills, double kills, even some quadra kills here and there. But the SAGU Lions are able to close out this week 4. And now we are seeing a 2-2 SAGU Lions Valorant team. They got 2 wins, 2 losses. I mean, that teamwork. Very well played by the SAGU Lions.
And again, this win this week is huge because it goes from either a 1-4 or 1-3,
1-3,
or a 2-2. And now that 1-3, it hits worse than obviously the other one, the 2-2. 2-2. You still got a good chance. You have a great fighting chance. I mean, still 1-3, you still have a chance, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not saying Ole Miss is out of this at all.
No, they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, for sure.
And they were some very strong players, very good at controlling their space. They played very safe, played very defensively. I think the main issue being the SAGU's strategy, the SAGU Lions strategy, was very well versed at that kind of opponent, at that kind of game plan. This very patient, very defensive game plan. The SAGU Lions have been practicing that like all the time. And so they know that matchup, they know that counterplay, and I just think they played their cards right. They did a very, very good job. But yeah, we have the SAGU Valorant team going 2-2. They defeated Ole Miss in a 2-0, and wonderful job by our SAGU Valorant team. And I don't know, I think that's been it for me. You got anything else, Aether?
I'm good. I think my main thing we took out of that is again, the experience and the strategies SAGU had were just really good. Even when Ole Miss did something really good, SAGU had someone there that was just able to pick things up when something went wrong, and that was the best thing, because SAGU can adjust to every situation, which is huge.
Very adaptable.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah,
exactly. And it was huge by the end of it.
Yeah, very well played. And this is going to be the Week 4 Valorant Super... I don't know. I'm so sorry. This has been the SAGU Sports Network. We have had such a fun time with this broadcast. And on Monday nights, we have Super Smash Brothers. On Tuesday nights, we have Valorant. On Wednesday nights, we have Rocket League. And on Friday nights, our very own Aether will be playing Call of Duty. And all those games are a whole lot of fun. It's going to be 7 p.m. on the SAGU Sports Network. Also, check out the SAGU Esports social media, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, all of the things. Please connect to us, leave us a comment, let us know what's going on. We want to hear from you. We want to connect to you. But we thank you so much for being a part of this. I am Evan the Astro Kid. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Aether.
And this has been the SAGU Sports Network.
Gamer activated.